Found out my husband was in love with his friend, so I made her my best friend, and now he is no one. All ages are at the time it happened. My F27 husband, M30, of 5 years Steve, had a female best friend long before we met. We will call her Amy. I met Amy pretty early on in the relationship, and I thought the girl best friend thing was kind of weird, but she seemed cool. I wasn't interested in a friendship between her and I, but I figured we could be civil. Steve had other friends but more, text every now and then friends. Amy was the only one he saw in person often. She even included me on activities occasionally, movie nights at her house or trips to the park, etc. I felt more secure because of how kind she was. The security washed down the drain every time it sprung up though. Steve always looked at Amy in a way he never looked at me. He seemed so genuine happy when she talked, more animated and excited, etc. He also tried to get me to cut my hair to be more like hers at one point and dye it a natural color. Amy had shoulder-length brown hair, beautiful on her but not the look for me. I had longish hair that I frequently dyed fun colors. He also would drop plans with me at the drop of the hat if the opportunity to spend time with Amy came up. Not every time, but one that stands out from memory is we were about to take a trip to visit my family. A full day trip if we don't stop anywhere on the way, and before we left he texted Amy to see what she was doing that day. She said nothing and he insisted we stop by to see her before we go. Amy did not know our plans. We ended up spending the whole day there. I rescheduled my family visit. If I had been more vocal at the time maybe it would have been different. But I didn't, and still don't, like arguing in front of people and bringing it up in front of Amy felt mortifying at the time. I chalked it up to me being too self-conscious and over-worrying. Steve wasn't outright cruel to me or anything, but the little things and comments tore me down. This went on for our whole marriage. One night Steve and I were drinking at home and watching bad Christmas movies, The Ginger Dead Man and such. I got in my feelings out of nowhere, as I often do when drunk, and asked him if he ever had feelings for Amy. He admitted to it, said he tried to get her to be with him multiple times since middle school and she always rejected him. I asked if she wanted to be together, if he would want to be with her instead of me. He said something along the lines of, "Stop making up hypothetical questions like that, that'll just hurt your feelings." I cried. We fought. I told him to leave. He called Amy and asked her to pick him up. When she got there I, drunk as a skunk, went outside and, in a not friendly way, accused her of ruining my marriage knowingly. There was a three-way heated argument, that I'm fuzzy on details, of because A, I was drunk, B, even sober when I'm in a heated argument I tend to erase things, and C, this didn't exactly happen yesterday. At the end of it Amy ended up taking Steve to his mom's house. She came back to me sitting in the yard crying. This is already too long so I'll skip ahead a bit. Amy knew vaguely that Steve had feelings for her, but thought it was a weird crush that would go away. She liked me but thought I was cold so didn't try to force a friendship. She didn't know a lot of the stuff Steve had said to me as far as comparing me to her, and was pissed about it when she learned. She let him know that she wasn't and never would be interested in him romantically. He said he understood. Steve and I did a temporary separation that led to divorce. Amy and I became friends. She was and is a great friend to me, almost worth everything Steve put me through. She's the sister I never had. She is still friends with Steve, but in the text every now and then way. I'm more self-confident now, no real long-term relationships since the big D, but now I'm invited to every movie night and trivia game and camping trip with Amy so I'm not at all bothered by the lack of romantic partner. Sorry this was so long, a little rushed at the end because I realized it was getting book length. Thanks for reading if you did. If you're married to a Steve there are better things out there for you darling.